Our story begins with the students at school buzzing with gossip about a transfer student who's set to arrive today. The girls are excited, hoping that the newcomer will be a handsome young man, while the boys find it a bit odd that this is happening in the middle of the school year. The principal, seeing the anticipation in the classroom, decides to call Masato Akatsu to join the class. As Akatsu enters, he appears visibly emotional, and the entire class is taken aback when they see him. Despite being only 16 years old, Akatsu has a striking feature: he's completely bald, like an old man. Understanding the curiosity and surprise in the room, the principal steps forward to explain Akatsu's unique condition. He reveals that Akatsu didn't choose to be bald, rather, it was an unfortunate mishap. Akatsu had mistakenly used his father's hair removal cream, thinking it was a hair tonic. The principal, who himself experiences hair loss, sympathizes with Akatsu's predicament. Now it's Akatsu's turn to introduce himself to the class. With a blend of confidence and humor, he admits that he has an unusual hobby of strolling through pharmacy. He even jokes that his favorite words are hair follicle, drawing a few chuckles from his classmates. Despite the lightheartedness of his introduction, Akatsu doesn't shy away from acknowledging that his recent days haven't been easy. However, he expresses his hope to create beautiful memories with everyone in the class. Akatsu's heartfelt words strike a chord with the class, leading to an emotional outpouring. Some students shed tears, while others offer applause. The students shout words of encouragement to Akatsu, making him laugh at the human tendency to accept even the most absurd stories without question. Just when it seems like everyone has bought into Akatsu's story, the principal notices something unusual. There's a tag protruding from Akatsu's head. Acting on impulse, the principal tugs at it, and to everyone's astonishment, a wig falls to the ground. The real Akatsu, with hair intact, stands there as if nothing had happened. The principal, somewhat exasperated, scolds Akatsu for pulling off such a stunt. However, Akatsu isn't one to back down. He explains that his hair has miraculously grown back, perhaps due to the shock. To emphasize his point, he plucks several tufts of hair from his head, pretending to be confused and even cursing his own hair follicles. This bizarre situation causes a momentary glitch in the room, with students trying to process the rapid turn of events. However, the atmosphere eventually calms down, and the principal intervenes, urging the class to treat their new classmate with kindness and respect. With the confusion settling, Akatsu is directed to his seat in the classroom. As he walks to his chair, he does so with absolute certainty that no one suspects his true identity. His unusual introduction has certainly left a lasting impression on his classmates. But then Akatsu experiences an unexpected moment of enchantment. In the background, he spots a girl, and her sheer beauty leaves him utterly mesmerized. He never imagined that a mere human could be so breathtaking. As Akatsu admires her from afar, his gaze doesn't go unnoticed. The girl responds to his admiring looks with a gentle smile, setting Akatsu's heart aflutter with a bittersweet rush of passion. This unexpected encounter sparks a whirlwind of emotions within him. Lost in the depths of his infatuation, Akatsu's rationality and self-control seem to slip away. His journey to his assigned seat in the classroom takes an unconventional twist, resembling the posture of someone with a broken neck. It's as if he's been transported to a different world, guided solely by the intense emotions stirring within him. Hours later, Akatsu remains deeply affected by this encounter. He can't seem to tear his gaze away from the girl who has captured his heart. In his mind, he paints vivid scenes of a perfect life with her by his side, imagining her as an innocent and lovable presence that would complete his world. His daydreams delve even deeper, envisioning moments they could share together, like late-night gaming sessions where their connection goes beyond the screen. And she asked to get clapped. These fantasies elicit powerful emotions within the young man, but he grapples with the uncertainty of approaching the girl directly. After all, they are practically strangers, and he fears that any hasty move might push her away. In the midst of his internal turmoil, another student decides to make his move. This young man approaches the girl, addressing her as Lily, and comments on the pleasant early spring breeze. He reminisces about the romantic atmosphere that seems to accompany her presence. With a hopeful tone, he suggests that they could start dating, a proposition filled with anticipation. However, the girl, Lily, possesses a unique ability known as Cabal Scare. She uses this power to skillfully deflect and deter the persistent advances of the amorous young man. He becomes flustered and desperate, pleading for her to at least consider his proposal. Lily's extraordinary ability leaves the young man humiliated and rejected. In this moment of emotional turbulence, another student named Yuba Tanagawa intervenes. He introduces himself to the new student, Akatsu, and extends an apology for the commotion caused by the emotionally charged young man, Hirota. Tanagawa proceeds to shed light on Hirota's behavior, explaining that Hirota has a history of openly declaring his affection for any cute girl he encounters. However, as of late, it seems that his obsession has fixated particularly on Lily. Just as they discuss these matters, Hirota himself joins the group. He casually mentions that he got kicked out again, and the group decides to relocate to the hallway. In the hallway, Hirota discusses the event that happened earlier. He mentions that Akatsu's introduction to the class startled everyone a bit, but he reassures Akatsu that he can ask anything he wants to know. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Akatsu becomes curious and inquires about the blonde girl seated at the back of the classroom. Hirota promptly identifies her as Lilia Main, a recent transfer student who arrived just before Akatsu did. He provides some background information, explaining that she's of mixed Japanese heritage and is what they call a Keiko Kashijo, which means she's a Japanese person who has always studied abroad until returning to Japan. Inside the classroom, we see Lily accepting an invitation from a friend to prepare for a piano exam that's scheduled for today. Akatsu, however, finds himself unable to stop thinking about her. To him, she appears remarkably short, cute, intelligent, and possesses an outstanding personality. She seems almost otherworldly in her charm. During this conversation, Hirona interjects, suggesting that Akatsu meant to describe Lily as looking like an angel. Surprisingly, this innocent word, angel, provokes a strong reaction from the new student, who becomes visibly irritated, much to the surprise of his new friends. Despite Akatsu's fascination with the blonde girl, Hirota reminds him of the countless times he's been rejected by her. In his earlier attempts, Hirota approached her with calm and polite requests, but as he faced rejection, he resorted to desperate pleas and even begging for her attention. Hirota's relentless pursuit of Lily has led to some humiliating moments for him. Undeterred, Hirota, who's known for his unyielding determination, decides to approach Lily once again. Tanagawa intervenes, trying to hold him back. Akatsu, on the other hand, observes how Lily seems to effortlessly captivate those around her, despite her unassuming appearance. As time passes, Akatsu is on his way home, contemplating a plan to get closer to his crush. Fate takes an unexpected turn when he and Lily literally collide at a random street corner. The girl, emerging from a dimly lit alley, explains that she got lost and happened to run into Akatsu. Realizing that this is a golden opportunity to finally engage in conversation with her, Akatsu's brain races to think of what to say. He decides to reintroduce himself, though he can't help but feel a tinge of embarrassment since she likely already knows who he is. In response, Lily finds his demeanor rather amusing and extends her hand in greeting, introducing herself in return. During their conversation, Akatsu notices that Lily has a torn sleeve. When he points it out, Lily becomes uncomfortable and tries to change the subject. She eventually mentions that their meeting must be fate, and she suggests celebrating it with a cool tea. Her sweet words touch Akatsu's heart, but he remains focused and confidently accepts her invitation. As they walk together, they discover that both of their parents live abroad. Lily comments on how challenging it must be for a guy to live alone because chores like washing dishes and laundry still need to be done. Akatsu assures her that he's perfectly capable of taking care of all the household tasks. Lily playfully suggests that he could invite her over Sunday to prove it, leaving the door open for a future meeting. As they continue their conversation, Lily becomes distracted and doesn't pay attention while crossing the street. A speeding truck suddenly approaches, putting her in danger. In a moment of sheer determination, Akatsu's eyes seem to transform into a determined expression, and he uses his incredible strength to stop the truck with his shoulder, preventing it from running over Lily. This extraordinary feat leaves Lily both frightened by the marks on Akatsu's face and inexplicably intrigued, prompting a brief smile. A crowd begins to gather around the accident scene, and people call for an ambulance. However, instead of waiting around, Lily quickly pulls Akatsu away from the commotion. They find themselves in a quiet square later in the afternoon, and Akatsu mentions that the pain in his shoulder has subsided. Lily apologizes for causing all the confusion, but Akatsu reassures her, saying she doesn't need to worry. Feeling more at ease, Lily takes the opportunity to ask Akatsu about his true identity. She points out that he stopped a truck with his shoulder, and his ears and eyes don't quite look human. In this critical moment, Akatsu finds himself in a precarious situation after inadvertently revealing his true identity. However, he's pleasantly surprised to see that Lily doesn't seem to react negatively to the possibility that he's not human. This prompts him to consider sharing a few secrets with her. He decides to partially transform his body, and confesses that he's a demon who ended up in the human world because hell is losing a war against the angels. Akatsu's mission is to find a charismatic leader who can rally the forces of hell and turn the tide of the war. However, he hasn't succeeded in locating this leader yet. He expresses his desire for Lily to assist him in this mission, occasionally descending to hell with him to aid in the search. Although Lily is initially apprehensive about the existence of demons, she recognizes that Akatsu, despite being one, saved her life and displayed kindness. However, she's unsure about how she can contribute since she doesn't possess any special ability, and she fears that people on the other side might become angry with her for some reason. Akatsu tries to reassure Lily, emphasizing that no one could become angry with someone as lovely as her. In a surprising turn of events, Lily immobilizes Akatsu with a magical chain and reveals her true identity as a servant of heaven, an angel. She mocks Akatsu and expresses her amusement at his attempt to seduce her. To further demonstrate her power, Lily reveals her angelic wings and explains that she created the unbreakable chains restraining Akatsu. She mocks him and claims that few angels possess her talent for creating such formidable objects. Feeling nervous after facing 2 demons in one day, Lily decides to inflict a minor form of torture by poking Akatsu in the eye with her finger. Confused by her mention of 2 demons, Akatsu learns that the tear in Lily's sleeve was caused by the demon she was defeating in the alley before meeting him. She explains that she let her guard down, thinking the enemy couldn't harm her. However, when he ruined her clothes, she chose to humiliate the demon before exorcising him slowly. Now, she must decide how to exorcise Akatsu. On the other hand, Akatsu is unashamed of being defeated by an enemy in a war, as he had a similar intention as Lily. However, he's determined to teach this angel not to underestimate demons and manages to break free from the chains. Akatsu's attacks proved ineffective against Lily, the angel who effortlessly evaded all his moves. Without breaking a sweat, she managed to chain him once again. However, Lily recognized that Akatsu was a step above the common demons she usually dealt with, making her hesitant to exorcise him. This realization left Akatsu with no apparent escape. Lily summoned a massive magical scythe and presented him with a choice: reveal Hell's plans and leave alive or face immediate exorcism. Akatsu doubted that the angel would spare his life, and as she raised the scythe to execute her attack, he prepared for the inevitable. But when Akatsu opened his eyes again, he found that Lily had changed her mind. Instead of immediately finishing him off, she decided to keep him under her supervision and compel him to collaborate with her work. To seal this agreement, she offered him a special collar personally crafted by a maid. Despite his initial resistance, Akatsu eventually relented and questioned why Lily wanted to keep him around. She used her charm and explained that she required his assistance to achieve her goals. While she couldn't disclose all the details, she promised to set him free if he accepted the arrangement. Angels couldn't lie, but the decision to trust her rested with Akatsu. In the worst-case scenario, he'd be left lying on the ground until someone with malicious intent captured a photo of him and shared it with the world. With this, Akatsu finally agreed to cooperate. Before releasing him, Lily demonstrated that the collar offer was genuine and attempted to fasten it around his neck. Akatsu resisted like a cornered crab and begged for mercy, but Lily made it clear that mercy was not in her nature. She successfully secured the collar around Akatsu's neck, threading the buckle through the hole, leaving him in a peculiar state of both terror and acceptance. Now, Akatsu found himself under the control of the angel, unable to return to hell as long as he remained affected by the collar's binding effect. This brings an end to this episode. Subscribe our channel for the next episode. Akatsu, now under the control of the angel due to the collar's effect, is unable to return to hell. Lily explains that his task, while under the influence of the collar, is to hunt other demons. This assignment frustrates Akatsu because it means going against his own kind. Lily is somewhat amused that demons might have a sense of solidarity. Akatsu, however, points out that demons have their own society and set of rules, and not all would betray those who have been kind to them. Despite Akatsu's attempt to explain this, Lily seems uninterested and is instead preoccupied with her split ends, showing indifference to his plight. This lack of concern angers Akatsu, but his attempt to remove the collar is futile. Lily reveals that she is the only one who can remove it, and she has the power to suppress his demonic abilities. She also knows his location at all times, which means she can control his movements and punish him if he doesn't comply with her commands. Using her control, Lily forces Akatsu to perform a humiliating act of apologizing and bowing to her demands. Despite his internal fury, Akatsu finds himself fetching water for Lily and bowing to her will, much to his frustration. Later, Lily starts treating Akatsu more like a servant than a captive demon. Perhaps feeling a bit guilty for exploiting him, she asks if there's anything he wants as compensation for his servitude. Akatsu, feeling physically strained from his tasks, crouches down and mentions his body aches. When Lily offers a massage and asks specifically where he needs it, Akatsu, trying to maintain some dignity, suggests that just stepping off her foot would suffice for him. Akatsu is internally screaming, feeling trapped in his own body, now controlled by Lily. Seizing the moment, Lily remarks on Akatsu's unusual request as being typical of demons. She agrees to fulfill his strange wish, but just as she's about to step on him, she begins to question the morality of her actions. She wonders if indulging in Akatsu's peculiar desires might lead her down a path that contradicts her angelic nature. Before Lily can act on Akatsu's request, a guard intervenes, spotting the two young people engaging in what appears to be inappropriate behavior in a public place. Caught in this situation, Akatsu and Lily quickly make their escape from the guard, avoiding any further confrontation or misunderstanding. After they manage to get away from the officer, Lily confronts Akatsu. She asks if he's still unwilling to cooperate, especially after the chaos in the square. She warns him that she might intensify the punishments next time, even suggesting embarrassingly harsh measures. Akatsu remains defiant, urging the angel to just exorcise him. But Lily admits she still needs him for her own plans. Faced with this ultimatum, Akatsu begins to reconsider. He's struck by how Lily, with her innocent appearance, can say such dreadful things. Reluctantly, he agrees to a compromise, offering to reveal the whereabouts of other demons, as they can sense each other's presence. Lily agrees to this arrangement but warns Akatsu of the consequences if he deceives her. Akatsu, feeling guilty, silently hopes no other demons come to Earth soon. Lily then declares Akatsu her servant, promising to transform him into a righteous and honest being as his reward. Unenthusiastic about this prize, Akatsu is further taken aback when Lily jokingly offers a hug for each mission he completes. He is horrified by the idea, and Lily quickly assures him she was only joking, deciding to delay the decision on his reward. They are soon found by the guard again and the chase resumes. Eventually, they lose the pursuer for good. Exhausted, Akatsu collapses on his bed, reflecting on the disastrous day and the nuisance of the collar. To his surprise, he finds the collar has disappeared. However, Lily bombards him with voice messages, rapping about how the collar may be gone but its influence remains. Akatsu is baffled about how Lily got his number, and she reveals through a text that she can read his mind. To his dismay, Akatsu discovers the collar left a permanent tattoo, ruining his hopes for a peaceful life and especially his plans for the pool. Frustrated and angry, he decides he must stop Lily before she causes more trouble. Meanwhile, Lily is communicating with an unknown contact, reporting her capture of a significant demon, which she has not exorcised due to its value. After ending the call, Lily gazes at the moon, plotting to use Akatsu's powers to gain recognition in heaven and make others regret underestimating her. She resolves to do exactly what Akatsu feared she would, indicating her plans might align with his darkest apprehensions. The story takes us back to the day Masatora Akatsu is informed by his superior that he's being sent to the human world. Hell is under severe attack from heaven, and instead of fighting back, it seems the demons are passively accepting defeat. Akatsu's mission is crucial. He must find a charismatic leader on Earth to unite the infernal forces under one powerful figure. The urgency of his task is highlighted by images from an angel's social media. One photo shows an angel humiliating a demon, marking the start of a hunting season. Another image reveals a demon being forced to use a fake ID to buy drinks, only to end up fleeing from the police. There's even a case where a demon is coerced into revealing his suspicious browser history. These images deeply disturb Akatsu. He realizes the enormity of his task, especially as angels continue sending more agents to Earth. They will be formidable adversaries, but Akatsu's mission is critical. He is Hell's last hope. For this monumental task, Akatsu is gifted with a unique item, a leather scalp prosthesis. He is instructed to use this artifact to win the trust and sympathy of humans. However, despite his training, Akatsu feels defeated every time he sees the tattoo that the angel, Lilumane, placed on his neck. Determined to end everything by defeating Lilumane, Akatsu gets an unexpected strategy idea from a TV program called Sweet Husband and Wife. The next day, he arrives at school with a new, confident style, attracting attention from his friends. Hiroda notes that Akatsu's appearance has changed, with an even more pointed chin. Lily also appears, having undergone a beauty transformation based on the same TV show. Her hair is styled, shiny, and hydrated as she tries to charm Akatsu. But Akatsu, equally prepared, competes in beauty with the angel. Both are trying hard not to fall for each other, resulting in a draw. In math class, Lily picks up an eraser that Akatsu dropped. The simple touch of their hands reignites their rivalry, starting a battle of attraction as they try to win each other's hearts. Lily delivering a punch that sends Akatsu tumbling into his chair, his brain reeling. She taunts him, boasting about her 12,000 years of experience over the young demon. But Akatsu is resilient. He tenderly removes a loose hair strand from Lily's head, skillfully avoiding her knockout hook and striking back with a punch to her stomach. This enraged Lily, signaling that their ongoing Cold War is just beginning. Later, Lily has to carry a heavy stack of papers to the faculty room. Seizing the opportunity, she asks Akatsu for help, using the moment to intensify their rivalry with a pretend punch that lands with surprising force. Akatsu withstands the blow, rising to help her with the papers. His rolled-up sleeves, revealing his muscular forearms, catch Lily off guard. The battle escalates, with both landing blows and losing balance. It becomes clear to Lily that defeating Akatsu won't be easy. As time passes, their rivalry grows more intense, with Akatsu loosening his shirt collar and Lily countering with an ice cream attack, each action causing emotional turmoil in the other. However, Lily believes she has a final plan to ensure victory. In class, after solving a math problem on the board, she pretends to stumble and falls onto Akatsu, catching him off guard. She then apologizes sweetly, using this moment to land several metaphorical punches. The class, caught up in the excitement, expects Lily's triumph, but their teacher intervenes, questioning their flirtatious behavior in class. With no clear winner, the pair agree to a truce, recognizing each other's strengths. A few days later, Lily waits for Akatsu, anticipating a date. As she feels a hand behind her, she turns around, ready to confront Akatsu, only to find two strange, bizarrely behaving people instead. This brings an end to our episode 2. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss on next episode. A couple of days after, Lily was waiting for her date, Akatsu, when suddenly she felt someone tap her shoulder. Thinking it was Akatsu, she spun around, ready to joke about his embrace. Instead, she found herself facing two strangers acting quite oddly. These guys, jokingly calling themselves buffaloes, said they were just looking for some fun and invited Lily to hang out with them. Lily, trying to be polite, explained she was waiting for someone and gave them her best puppy dog eyes, hoping to gently refuse their offer. The men found her so adorable that they kept pressing her to join them for tea until her date arrived. Just then, Akatsu showed up, cool as ever, and warned the men in a cryptic way that Lily wasn't someone to mess with, comparing her to a sharp blade that's not immediately visible. The two men, realizing Akatsu was not only there but also someone not to trifle with, especially with his mysterious way of speaking, decided to back off. Akatsu, trying to smooth over his tardiness, presented Lily with a green pig bear toy, saying that heroes are fashionably late. Lily, not having it, playfully hit him with the toy, scaring off the two strangers for good. Akatsu tells Lily that hitting him with the plush toy not only hurt him, but also squished the toy flat. Lily playfully threatens to include him in the mashed potatoes if he doesn't change his attitude. Then, Akatsu tries to shift the mood by looking at Lily in a way that reminds him of a classic sculpture, admiring how nicely she's dressed for their date. Lily, feeling a bit uncomfortable with his staring, accuses Akatsu of being a bit creepy. Realizing he might have gone too far, Akatsu quickly explains that he was just caught off guard by how effortlessly beautiful she always looks. But Lily, not having any of it, warns him sternly to drop the topic or else face her creative punishments at any time or place, even threatening him with a nightmare scenario involving their bald math teacher. After scaring Akatsu with that vivid threat, she casually mentions that dealing with demons is just an ordinary task for her, likening it to a simple morning routine. Akatsu remembers the risk he's taking by working with Lily. If anyone discovers their partnership, he'd be in big trouble. Curious about their next move, he asks where they're headed, and Lily points out a notice about a dog attack, suggesting a demon might be involved. She's ready to track down the culprit using a map of incidents posted online by the city. When Akatsu wonders how close he needs to be to sense other demons, he explains he can detect strong ones from a distance unless they're concealing their power. Lily teases him by calling him useless for this task, which annoys Akatsu. During their adventure, Akatsu suddenly feels uneasy but decides not to mention it. Lily warns him not to hide anything from her, knowing how important honesty is between them. Despite Akatsu's silence, they continue their quest for evil forces, but Akatsu doesn't sense any demonic activity. After a while, they stop for food, and Akatsu teases Lily about her eating habits, suggesting she'll gain weight, which earns him a playful scolding for speaking to his rescuer that way. Just then, Akatsu feels a troubling vibe. Lily thinks he's just trying to dodge her lecture, but they're interrupted by Kensaku Hirota, who's distraught over seeing his crush with someone else, repeatedly banging his head against a wall in distress. They quickly assure Hirota that he's misunderstood the situation, calming him down after his dramatic display. Lily explains they were merely exploring the city together, prompting Hirota to express his wish that he'd been the one to show her around, encouraging more openness in inviting friends out. Hirota then reveals his jealousy at seeing them together, although he's on a date himself. His date, Yuka Tanahashi, enters, upset at being left outside. Hiroda introduces Yuka to his classmates, and when Lily's name comes up, Yuka teasingly mistakes her for a middle schooler based on Hiroda's frequent mentions, which irritates Lily. However, Lily maintains her composure and politely greets Yuka, who remains cool and detached even when Akatsu introduces himself. Lily, curious about Yuka, inquires about her, leading Hiroda to introduce Yuka simply as an old friend, navigating the awkward and charged atmosphere with grace. Right after Hiroda introduces Yuka as just a friend, she quickly corrects him, claiming she's actually his girlfriend, which completely throws him off. Lily seizes the moment to point out that it's not okay for him to flirt with her while having a girlfriend. This revelation sets Yuka off, and she angrily pulls Hiroda out of the diner, demanding an explanation for his actions. Akatsu isn't pleased with Lily for causing such a scene, but Lily feels satisfied with getting back at Yuka for her earlier rudeness. After the drama, Lily decides she's had enough excitement for one day and warns Akatsu to alert her if he senses any demonic activity, hinting at consequences if he fails to do so. Once Lily leaves, Akatsu is left to deal with the aftermath and the bill, only to find out at the cashier that Lily had already settled it. This embarrasses Akatsu, making him feel outdone by Lily's gesture. The next day, Lily confronts a demon with her scythe ready for battle, while Akatsu regrets his actions. But then he realizes it was all just a bad dream. Back at school, Yuka approaches Lily to apologize for her harsh words the day before. Despite being angry on the inside, Lily responds sarcastically, suggesting Yuka's dramatic reveal wasn't the best move and indirectly caused a scene. Yuka admits that she and Hiroda were just pretending to be a couple and weren't actually dating. She also says she's in the class next to Lily's and proposes they move past the misunderstanding and become friends, showing there's room for reconciliation after the confusion. Lily agrees to Yuka's suggestion of becoming friends, but once Yuka leaves, Lily's true feelings surface. She's furious, especially because Yuka kept calling her small in a demeaning way, and she vows to get back at her for the insult. Later, during a break, Akatsu finds himself haunted by a recent nightmare where Lily was ruthlessly exorcising a demon. His friends, noticing his withdrawn behavior, approach him to find out what's wrong. Unable to share the real cause of his distress, Akatsu makes up a story about being troubled by dreams of an older woman, which has been affecting his sleep. His friends, Himuro and Tanagawa, tease Akatsu, suggesting he's fallen in love, which Akatsu tries to deny. Their teasing highlights how unusual they find it for Akatsu to be caught in such a youthful dilemma, especially about an older woman, since they assumed his interest was in Lily. Hiroda even jokes about them being rivals for Lily's affection, showing a casual attitude toward crushes within their circle. Hiroda dismisses any awkwardness about such situations, stating he doesn't mind who likes whom and even offers to share love advice despite his lack of experience in that area. When Akatsu inquires about Hiroda's recent outing with Yuka, Hiroda clarifies she's just an old friend he was helping with shopping, brushing off any implications of a romantic involvement. Hiroda confesses to Akatsu that his attempts at flirting often get interrupted by Yuka, who scares away anyone he's interested in. When Akatsu questions why Hiroda doesn't just date Yuka, considering their close encounters, Hiroda is unable to provide a clear answer, hinting at complicated reasons behind his reluctance. Meanwhile, Lily is on a mission to hunt demons in the city and hopes to use Akatsu's unique ability to detect them. But when she reaches out, Akatsu excuses himself with a stomachache. Lily, though disappointed, decides not to push and takes a break after a fruitless 2-hour search, wishing she could use Akatsu's powers directly. Unexpectedly, Yuka finds Lily during her break and suggests they hang out together. Despite her inner desire to confront Yuka for her behavior, Lily recognizes the importance of not stirring human conflicts and reluctantly agrees to spend time with her, masking her true feelings with a smile. Their outing leads them to a clothing store where Yuka picks out deliberately oversized clothes for Lily, aiming to embarrass her. Lily, understanding Yuka's intentions, pretends to be oblivious to the mockery, but internally acknowledges this act as a direct challenge. In response, Lily cleverly decides to give Yuka a taste of her own medicine by suggesting a skirt that, despite being for children, fits Yuka's physique mockingly well, targeting her insecurity. This move escalates their silent battle, with each girl using passive-aggressive tactics to undermine the other. The tension between them continues as they exchange barbed suggestions, Lily with a weight loss magazine aimed at Yuka, and Yuka countering with parenting advice for Lily. This back and forth showcases their rivalry, highlighting their keen understanding of how to press each other's buttons in a psychological tug-of-war. Yuka takes Lily to a photo booth where friends can take fun, edited pictures together. Yuka plans to make the edits funny and a bit exaggerated, hoping to surprise Lily, but Lily actually enjoys the activity. Afterward, while taking a break, Lily texts Akatsu, asking him to join them, showing she's not alone in this. Yuka suggests putting the photos in an album, and as they spend more time together, Lily's friendly and slightly clumsy demeanor starts to win Yuka over. During their chat, Yuka confesses she invited Lily out to better understand her rival but ends up admitting that despite their difference, she thinks they could be friends. Lily shares that she had fun too and reassures Yuka that she's not interested in Hirota, easing some of Yuka's concerns about competing for attention. Yuka, feeling a bit more open, shares her insecurities about not being the type of girl boys usually go for, unlike Lily, who seems to have all the desirable traits. However, hearing Lily's genuine responses makes Yuka think that maybe Lily isn't so bad after all. When it's time to leave, Yuka gives Lily a parting gift and rushes off to her next commitment. Lily, although initially upset by Yuka's earlier actions, finds herself forgiving her after reflecting on the fun day they had. Feeling lighter and appreciative of the newfound friendship, Lily decides to give Akatsu a break for the day, advising him to rest up. Akatsu, surprised by Lily's concern, hurries to find her, eager to prove he's alright. When he catches up, he insists his stomachache has passed, but Lily teases him for not being very convincing. Ready to move on from the conversation, Lily shifts focus to finding the demon she senses nearby. After changing clothes, she confidently confronts her target, declaring herself a formidable foe to demons. A heated battle ensues, and Lily finds herself frustrated for being unable to land a hit on the elusive wolf. Displaying arrogance, she loses patience and demands the owner to admit defeat, asserting that he stands no chance against her. Meanwhile, Akatsu patiently awaits around the corner, anticipating the girl's success. The wolf, curious about Lily's motives, questions why she seeks to kill him. Lily, claiming to have heard about attacks on women in the city by some neighborhood dogs, inquires if the demon wolf is responsible. The wolf grins and suggests he can confirm the truth but challenges Lily to defeat him first. To eliminate the need for the wolf to confess, he transforms into his true form, a humanoid wolf with a graceful presence. The demon acknowledges Lily's fear, but begins a speech before being abruptly interrupted as Lily, dissatisfied with the unfolding fantasy, strikes him with her scythe, expressing her disdain for the perceived vulgarity. During this time, Akatsu is massaging his collie, expressing his frustration at just wanting to embrace the summer trend with his outfit. However, inattentive to his surroundings, Akatsu carelessly abandons his hiding place. The observant wolf notices the boy's demonic nature and questions why a demon is aiding an angel. Unable to provide a justifiable explanation, Akatsu is ordered by the wolf to attack Lily as a demonstration of loyalty. Sensing the imminent threat, the angel promptly steps forward and issues a warning. Lily asserts that if Akatsu proceeds with the attack, he too will face exorcism. Meanwhile, Akatsu attempts to diffuse the tension by advocating for dialogue as the optimal means of conflict resolution. Drawing an analogy to video games where pressing a button multiple times fills a heart, he suggests that our souls are similarly filled with love when we resolve problems through conversation. However, despite Akatsu's attempt to dissuade them from fighting, they had already engaged in a brawl for some time. Both sides criticize the guy for introducing peace and love talk into such a chaotic situation. Since neither party is willing to embrace the proposal, Akatsu decides to share some of his love with them. In an effort to soften their hearts and revealing his summer outfit beneath his clothes, Akatsu spontaneously creates a song about compassion and empathy. He then tosses the microphone to the audience, prompting them to share their feelings after the performance. The wolf, initially mocking the boy, takes the microphone and, surprisingly, improvises a song in response. The song praises how much better the wolf's life would be if he had encountered Akatsu earlier. Upon hearing this unexpected song, the wolf acknowledges the unpleasant nature of angels. He notes the contradiction where Lily desires Akatsu as a partner while simultaneously despising him in this peculiar way. Nevertheless, the battle persists, and Akatsu regains the microphone. Instead of responding with a song, he becomes emotional, expressing that the girl didn't mean the hurtful things she said. He tosses the microphone back to Lily, who advises him to speak more clearly if he wants to be heard. Observing the ongoing conflict, the wolf realizes that the little demon has been fighting for him all along, diverting the malevolent angel's attention to protect him. This realization softens the wolf's heart. When Akatsu, teary-eyed, declares that he can't endure Lily's insults any longer, the wolf takes the microphone and acknowledges the boy's efforts. Thanking Akatsu for everything he did, the wolf also breaks into tears, and the two demons share a heartfelt hug. Lily, through the microphone, announces that she'll leave them to resolve their issues while she takes a break from the chaos. Later, Lily inquires with the demon wolf about what he's searching for in the area. He responds that he was looking for new fashion magazines, having learned about the existence of pants that enhance the thighs and buttocks. Initially, the wolf found joy in observing women wearing spat pants and reading magazines. However, a violent impulse led him to attack women in spat pants on the streets. Eventually, he realized his victims were wearing leggings instead. Akatsu and Lily, puzzled by the spat and leggings distinction, scratched their heads in confusion. After understanding the difference, Lily decided to end the demon's existence and grant him a state of grace. Using her scythe, she summoned a portal that gradually dissolved the wolf's body. Grateful, the wolf thanked Akatsu for his concern. Only after the wolf's exorcism did Akatsu admit that he had been acting for his benefit. Despite the dramatic turn of events, Akatsu discovered that the demon had transformed into a cute little puppy. Lily took some photos of the adorable creature and handed him over to Miss Kearney, the leader of a voluntary organization rescuing dogs and cats. Following these events, Akatsu inquired about Lily's actions, and she explained that she had sealed the demon's wicked powers and thoughts. As Meg falls, Akatsu and Lily share a tender moment, and the girl promises to reward him for his help. Just as the boy is about to kiss her, he suddenly wakes up in the classroom. His bald teacher admires Akatsu's ability to sleep in class and rewards him with a punch on the head. Rubbing the bump on his head, Akatsu recalls that he's been dreaming about Liliamaine since they first met. He reflects on how his heart raced the first time he noticed her. Trying to process his feelings, Akatsu attempts to write in his notebook but experiences a brief identity crisis as he realizes he's a demon having romantic feelings for an enemy. At home, Akatsu can't stop thinking about Lily, acknowledging that Amaine is driving him crazy. In the middle of the night, there's a knock on the door, and Liz, the head of the Department of Hell, scolds Akatsu for being lazy just because there's no class that day. Akatsu warmly welcomes Liz, who shares that she's there to deliver a new school uniform as part of a seasonal tradition in the city. During the conversation, Liz, Akatsu's superior, inquires about his mission to find a charismatic leader for Hell in the ongoing war. Akatsu, feeling a bit lost and not wanting to leave the conversation blank, mentions a candidate he found but describes them in a way that resembles Liliamaine. Unintentionally, he reveals his thoughts about her. Liz acknowledges that finding the right leader is crucial and urges Akatsu to hurry due to the escalating war. She also warns that she'll have to sleep at Akatsu's house since the department doesn't have the funds to cover her accommodation. As Liz prepares to change, Akatsu is left to process the complexity of his situation. He realizes that not only is he dealing with finding a leader for Hell and his forbidden love for Liliamaine, but now he has the added challenge of navigating the dynamics of living with his superior. The overwhelming series of events begins to take a toll on Akatsu's mental state. Contrary to Akatsu's expectations, Liz arrives with a massive sleeping bag that keeps her completely cocooned, ensuring they sleep separately. The following day, Liz informs Akatsu about their upcoming training session. As time passes, Akatsu finds himself approaching two friends on the street, attempting to recruit them for a cause. However, his efforts are met with ruthless rejection, leaving him embarrassed. Observing Akatsu's awkward encounter, Liz advises him to think more carefully before choosing a representative for the demons. She emphasizes the importance of ensuring that the chosen person is determined enough to descend into Hell and fulfill their duties. While Akatsu's thoughts are still consumed by Liliamaine, Liz adds that the selected individual must possess unwavering conviction to lead the forces of evil. With Liz's advice fresh in his mind, Akatsu attempts a new strategy to recruit a representative for the demon. He approaches another girl on the street and fabricates a story about his missing pet using a fake photo. The girl claims she hasn't seen the puppy, but Akatsu intensifies his plea, stating that his little sister is suffering from terrible diseases since the dog disappeared, and her health depends on finding the pet. Moved by this emotional appeal, the girl agrees to ask her friends about the missing dog and requests Akatsu's phone number for update. Liz praises Akatsu for his efforts, acknowledging that exploiting the emotional loophole in women can be an effective strategy. Encouraged by Liz, Akatsu continues enchanting women on the street. However, Liz proposes an additional challenge, approaching a girl and inviting her for tea. Akatsu follows this guidance and catches the attention of a girl, only to realize it's Yuka. Despite the awkward situation, Yuka assumes Akatsu is hitting on her and agrees to have something with him, under the condition that he foots the bill. While Lily spends the day sleeping and realizes she won't have time to hunt demons, she decides to wash some clothes. Meanwhile, Akatsu and Yuka find themselves in a bar, sipping on orange juice. Akatsu attempts to communicate with his boss to determine the next steps in their mission. However, Liz requests some time to flip through a book, revealing she has been relying on a manual from the beginning. Faced with Liz's delay, Akatsu tries to handle the situation himself. When Yuka asks if he likes Lily, Akatsu becomes flustered. Despite his denial, Yuka persists on the topic, prompting Akatsu to divert the conversation by inquiring about Hirota's chances with her. Yuka shares that a romantic relationship is challenging due to their long-standing friendship. In a moment reminiscent of Liz's advice, Akatsu adopts an advisory role and echoes a ready-made phrase about having a strategy focusing on a specific point. Yuka seems to grasp the intended meaning, even though there may not be a clear strategy, interpreting it as concentrating forces on the wrong person. After thanking Akatsu for his help, Liz instructs him to take things further and invites Yuka to the park at night, making it a crucial part of his training. Akatsu is reluctant, having to flirt with a girl who has feelings for his friend, but he follows through and makes the invitation. Meanwhile, Millie, having washed clothes in the cold, catches a cold and tries to warm up. Later, Akatsu and Yuka awkwardly stroll through the park, with minimal conversation. Eventually, Yuka promises to keep their meeting a secret and quickly departs. Liz arrives and commends Akatsu on his training, revealing that she is leaving for now but has something important to discuss. She points out that Akatsu flirted with the bartender in front of Yuka, expressing disapproval. Unbeknownst to her, it was the tiny angel who accidentally activated the collar by sneezing on the command device. Unable to explain this, Akatsu takes the blame. This brings an end to our episode. See you with the new episode next week. Until then, subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos.